This morning, I was paid $1,200 to make a video, and Kenny was not.
I was paid $1,200 to book that video session.
No.
So you made sir. I took all of it for booking it. And it's because I turned it down because I just got my new camera, which is much, much better. And they were like, hey, we'll give you $1,200. I was like, dude, that's a lot of money. I know my camera's worth a lot. It's okay. And then they were like, but it's a little bit too much for us. So I was like, what you can do? I was like, dude, I got this other guy. He can do it. He'll do it for 12. He usually charges a lot more, but he's in a tight spot right now. I'll send him your way. His camera's okay.
Let's get into it. I started learning about making videos in November. My camera came in December, and I've had this YouTube channel since the beginning of January. Take them off.
What are you guys talking about?
And if he keeps it up, he'll be good at video in probably the same time frame. He's terrible right now. He doesn't even know how to use his own camera.
Dude.
But that won't be the case forever because he's diligent and he'll continue to bump his head against the wall until it bleeds, and then he'll go to the hospital and then it'll get repaired and he'll have less brain power afterwards, but that'll actually help because most of his brain power is devoted to bullshit. He'll be able to focus the remaining brain power on video.
Dude, you're so not right there, dude.
Does this look like a smart man to you? Don't do the face. And I'm not saying this to brag because...
so smart, dude.
No.
What were you bragging about?
I'm not trying to say, ooh, I got paid money to do a shoot. I'm just saying that it doesn't take that long to become good enough at a skill that you can get paid for it, especially if you're really diligent about learning it and practicing it. Stop. This does not qualify as practice.
That's the shot right there. That's $1,200.
God damn it. Nature Valley bars. They're delicious. There's nothing stopping you from taking a creative pursuit, learning everything you can about it in a very short time frame, and then turning it into a monetizable skill. Now, I can't show you any footage from this gig. It was at a pretty fancy place. That's why I'm all jazzed up today. And it's work for hire, so the footage is theirs, not mine. But it's a corporate video. It's a training video for new hires to orient them to the facilities and everything that goes on at this place of business. And the edit's probably gonna take me about 5 or 6 hours. The shoot, I mean, if you wrap it all up with travel and all that, probably like 7 hours. Like that's a very liberal estimate. So let's say I'm getting paid anywhere from like $60 to $100 an hour for a skill I didn't have this time last year. And so a lot of people are like, how do I crack into this industry? How do I do it? And it's like, dude, get the thing you need to create the stuff and then make a shitload of it for free. I would have never gotten this gig if it weren't for the fact that I made my honeymoon videos and all of these YouTube videos and the music video that I shot for free. I didn't get paid for any of that, but it was just me learning my skill and practicing it. Practicing it in a public forum, which could get recognized, and then people would be like, hey, can I pay you a ridiculous amount of money to come do one of those for me? Yes, you may. Now, I don't want to spend my days shooting and editing corporate training videos. That's not what I'm about. But that's because I have a lot of other responsibilities. And if videography was my one craft that I'm focusing on, of course I would do that. That would be the day job, and I could do passion projects in the night. So, figure out the minimum equipment you need to practice your skill. Learn every single day about your skill. Like at night, I am at home and I've got 50 tabs open and I'm learning about videography just because I'm interested in it. Hone that skill and practice it using that equipment. So create finished works, preferably finished works that are gonna be seen by a lot of people in your immediate network. And then have a price. Have a price that you charge. Think up what your time is worth. And if someone asks you if you can do a video for them, have a price ready. To be clear, I'm not gonna become a corporate videographer. I mainly did this to see what it would be like to perform a paid shoot. It's like an exploratory, experimental kind of thing. I'm honing my craft, I'm getting paid for it, and I can learn a little bit more to tell you guys about. But it was great, you know, like I was completely in my element, I wasn't bothered by anybody, and with all the things that I've picked up over the last 4 or 5 months, I know I'm gonna make a video that this company is really impressed by. There's a whole bunch of people out there who just do it because it's a gig, not because it's what they want to do with their life. And if you have a craft, a creative craft that you're obsessed about, you have a competitive advantage against those who are doing it professionally, oftentimes. I'm not even close to the best videographer that I know. I'm not even close to the guy best suited to walk into a fancy corporate place and make them a video. You're probably better suited for that than I am.
Talking to me?
No, definitely not you. I'm the worst guy for that. I don't pay attention. My focus is very difficult to pin down. I'm crude. I use crude language. I smell bad. I don't shower. I have mustard stains on my jacket. Oh yeah, I'm severely addicted to nicotine. But with enough knowledge, with enough practice, with enough public display of the knowledge I'm gaining, I can get a corporate video gig. And so can you. So maybe it's not video, maybe it's audio. You might be into graphics or photography. You might get really into Photoshop or Lightroom and try to make all this cool stuff and start showing it to people. And then boom, you have a monetizable skill. And you don't have to be afraid about like, what if I can't sell it to corporations? Because corporations are a river of money. Once a company hits the 7-figure mark, and especially the 8-figure mark, they now have too much money to channel appropriately. As your budget increases, the efficiency of your spend decreases. This also happens in corporations with employment. So if you have 2 employees, those 2 employees are efficient as fuck. If you have 200 employees, a lot of them ain't doing shit. So I say all that to say that corporate budgets are set at the beginning of the year, and guess what? If your department doesn't spend all of its budget, they don't get so much money next year. So there is an impetus on every corporate department to spend all of their budget and then some, because that will increase that department's budget over time. So maybe there's an HR department at a corporation that you have some non-trivial connection to. And that HR department needs training videos, they need new hire orientations, and all of that involves video and graphics and audio. And e-learning as well. Or maybe you've gotten into the marketing department. They need videography. They need graphics. And there's about a dozen other types of departments in major corporations that have similar worries. Too much money to spend and not enough graphics, video, and audio. And that's also why scouting for jobs at the beginning of the year is very helpful, because that's when these departments have the most money. They just got their budget allocation and they're looking to burn it. So you don't have to worry about going out there and fishing for jobs. You gotta put your hand in the stream and start collecting water. Get good at the thing you want to get good at. Treat it like your passion craft. Don't treat it like it's going to be a job yet, because that's how you're going to get better faster. You get better by making the shit that jiggles your berries, juggles your jam jar, fiddles your figs. If you want to get good at the craft, do those things. Those things, especially if they're things you're proud to show off, your artwork. You're proud to show it to your friends and family and your entire network. That's the best situation, because then one by one, those people will start going, do you do this? Like, could I hire you to do this? And the answer is yes. And so I say all that to say, you don't have to be relegated to the annals of starving artisthood. You can become a fed artist. Companies are willing to pay for media in all different forms. Now, I hate working for people, and that's why my main go-to advice for people who are like me is to just start your own company. But this is a form of that, right? Because if you get enough gigs, you start your own company, you start hiring someone to help you on these shoots, then maybe you hire an editor in the context of videography. That's what you would do. And then boom, you got a company. No one can fire you except the client. And oftentimes you're not even interfacing with the client because there's a layer of other employees between you and the client. You're the business owner. That's the best situation to be in for my money. But it starts with just getting gigs. And that's not too hard if you put in a good 3 to 5 months of just really studying the shit out of your craft, practicing it, and putting stuff out. Make stuff, put stuff out. For any of you out there who have been wanting to just dive headfirst into something, like Kenny has to his XT3, you can do that. You can do that without fear, knowing that if you do your job of becoming good at that thing, you can get paid for it, especially if it's video. People will pay for video editing and shooting. With that said, I've been Circa for Full Stack Creative. This has been an experiment turned into a lesson. If you liked this video, if it was helpful at all to you in your path to become a full-time creative, like the video. Don't be a selfish prick. And then if you want more of these videos where I call you a selfish prick, subscribe and ring the bell to get notified whenever we drop them. And if you do, I'll see you next one. Peace out. Don't look at me. Don't look at me. One of the big things. So while in the early 2000s, I might have spent If I really wanted to be cheap, I could have removed the light. It's not funny. It's not funny. These oats, they get my throat.